How about that? How about that? How about that? Everything we talk about, ill intent, violence, physicality, execution, the will to win. Just win, baby.
You are now about to witness the strength of...
Hey, what's going on? Ralf in the building, Capitán Rafucho, and welcome to a special edition of Straight Outta Nation. This is a Black Friday football edition because we can talk about college football, NFL during the Thanksgiving week, the Black Friday week, and of course, the weekend is going to be upon us. Because after doing Las Vegas Raiders versus Kansas City Chiefs, I mean, this is going to be blow up the mind because I thought it was going to be like an upset, but instead of that, that was like a controversial call. So this one is going to be very exclusive because this episode not only is going to be live on my YouTube channel, which is Capitán Rafucho, but also this episode is going to be exclusively for the Big Blue Crew Sports Network, talking about another things, well, doing for the Raiders versus Chiefs, and of course, a little bit of college football, NFL, because this is the Black Friday football edition. We can talk about that. So here it is, folks. And don't forget to subscribe to Capitán Rafucho on YouTube, which is my main account. And of course, you can follow me on every social media at @ as now as Twitter, Instagram, Rumble, and of course, don't forget to subscribe to the Big Blue Crew Sports Network. So don't be a ninja. Subscribe. It costs you free. It didn't cost you $1. It didn't cost $2, $5 or $10. It costs you free. And of course, you can ring the bell for notifications if you miss a live stream, video, everything. So right now, let's get down to business because this one is gonna blow up your mind. So I know it's gonna play some music. Well, not copyright music. Yep. So right now, here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Raiders out, Chiefs in. So probably you know about this because Raiders got eliminated, well, very shortly after they just lost Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah, because it was just like a very complicated game of the Black Friday, but it seems that the round number 2, that was like very crucial, but it seems that it doesn't have like involved in all to this moment. So the Raiders got out because they got eliminated. The Kansas City Chiefs are playing at the playoffs. So there's no surprise in here. No surprise here that the Kansas City Chiefs are the first place in the conference along with Los Angeles Chargers. Also, there was Denver Broncos. And the last place was us. And yes, 10 lose streak. I mean, that was like, wow. What can I tell you about this? That looks very horrible. Because I guarantee, because that game, I mean, that was like a huge mistake by Jackson Powers Johnson. Because everybody knows by the rule, it's a dead ball and false start. And how in the heck is the NFL going to spin this? Because the referees shouldn't be allowed any playoff games. I mean, they should be allowed to buy any Chief games or AFC games. That was absolutely ridiculous. Another thing is, why did you spike the ball and go for another play? Or did you spike the ball while Carson is in consideration not to miss? Mistake right there. I know still the referees definitely had money on that game. I mean, that just must show up. Yep, that really hurts. But how can I blame about like the play calling of Scott Turner, Norv Turner? I mean, the offense was a little bit too good because they just realized that the playbook of Scott and Norv Turner, they just realized that they're getting ball, they just get improved. But I mean, that one ran another play in the 30-yard with 11 seconds, no timeouts, and down by 2. If they want to kick the field goal, win the game. I mean, that was just like the stupidest thing. And what is they not going to blame about it? I mean, we almost beat the Chiefs. And we just wanted to ensure like the draft positions remain unchanged. But it seems that the thankathon for the rest of those teams who actually lost is still proof. Because at the third positions, they just got New York Giants, Jacksonville Jaguars, Las Vegas Raiders. Also, they just got New England Patriots. Yep. It was like definitely like out of control. But it seems that, well, besides of that, there was just like nothing to change it at all. I mean, they had the still same problems. Yep, they had the still problems, but it's stand that because the Raiders are not managing about like the offensive coordinator, also the quarterback situation, because after Gardner Minshew was injured, Gardner Minshew was injured. Right now, I just wanted to put it down for Aiden O'Connor. But it seems that they get almost there, almost close for that game, even though that I just call it in Spanish. And yep, that game between Las Vegas Raiders versus Kansas City Chiefs, it became something very close enough to get involved with another wing, which is the third one. But it seems that it was completely impossible to make it right. Impossible. I mean, something hasn't changed it at all, but I mean, they just wanted to continue. They just wanted to continue to improve. I mean, about for like the penalties. The Raiders were like 3rd and 3 with 50 seconds left and no time to outs. And they wanted to decide to run another play instead of kicking the field goal. I mean, the penalty isn't not the issue there. It's not the issue there. And I know that Aiden O'Connell did great today. But he looked very poised in calling under the pressure and then dropped perfect deep passes, but it just needed. I mean, the run game, much improved. Brock Bowers and Michael Mayer look great. Also, there's Jacoby Myers, Trey Tucker. Where was it the defense all been all the season? Let me guess. Luke Getsy ruined it all. I mean, they're just getting ridiculous. And why even they want to send the offense on a 3rd down with no timeouts? This is like legitimately not a single positive outcome for that. I mean, the only realistic comes when he chucks out out of the bounds as soon as the ball is snapped. Why did he just not kick it right there? The most mismanaged game that I ever see. Because, I mean, the last play was pretty much bogus. And we all know that the referees will do something at this point. And they wanted to expect us to be on the game. As soon as we looking at Will score, they just wanted to call some BS. Yep. I mean, that was a good game. But if we have made some field goals, the Raiders really won. The Raiders really won. But it was just like an awful ending. Awful ending. It seemed that some fans, some Raiders fans, they can finally unite against Antonio Pierce. I mean, that was like an embarrassing. I mean, it's been like an undisciplined football across the board. And how about the fact that we had Scott Turner at the start of the season, and they choose to get him into the start of the season? That was just like a disgrace. And whatever the way that is going to need for us, I mean, we have all the talent, but it seems that between for the quarterback situation, it doesn't happen like anything could happen. So for now, I mean, for us, for the Raiders fans, we just got eliminated. And for the Chiefs, they just got in for the playoffs. Yep, they just got in for the playoffs. But not only about that, because we're not the only one who got eliminated earlier at that season. Because we're not the only one. Because you got to check this out, folks. Not only the Las Vegas Raiders, they just got eliminated for the playoff competition. Also, who else has got eliminated for the competition? New York Giants. Because that's the other topic that I just wanted to talk about it. Because it seems that it got really worse. Yep. And I know that I'm not going to trash talk about like the New York Giants, but I just wanted to make it clear as a Raiders fan, as a sports content creator, yep, that I just wanted to talk about it. I mean, there I look like the first team eliminated for the contention. And yes, and after they've been all through the whole disaster, because not only they just got benched, Daniel Jones, and also being traded by the Minnesota Vikings, but also the play calling of Brian DeBall, it seems that nothing is improved. Nothing is improved. I mean, the pressure was very too much. It was very too much. It was. Because let's be honest right now, I mean, there's like a lot of decisions make sense. I mean, they're not going to revise history to say that draft picks were terrible for them. Even Saquon Barkley and Benny Go wasn't that dangerous. That's everyone that makes it out to be. But sometimes it really costs. It really costs. And some of those fans, they have no shame to be eliminated. Because when you have it a bad day, when you have it a bad year, I mean, definitely worth the shame. I mean, because it seems that NBA like it really terrible. It really terrible because I know that I've been like a lot of disaster because not only for the Giants, but also for us, the Raiders, and the New England Patriots. Yep. I mean, they just got out after a loss for Dallas. But even, I just wanted to talk about it, seems that 31 teams get eliminated every year. I mean, number of regimes get a worst each year has been there. I mean, look at this one. Brian DeBall playbook figured it out and showing. I mean, it's not that very good enough. I mean, no players care about being on that team because it seems like people that just wanted to, I don't know, to tank and get a high draft pick. I mean, also they just wanted to loosen those ways to more respectable. I mean, teams that get to number 2 draft pick are typically really, really bad. It seems that they get it over it. They get it over it. And right now, after a disaster coming up through, a disaster coming up through after they just lost against Dallas Cowboys. I mean, for some reason, I mean, they just became, that's when it started. Because even though that I just wanted to get realize a lot of this problem. Because it seems that, hey, how's it going, Daniel Barry? Salute to you. Salute to you. But I know if you remember about this. If you remember about this, from 2005 till 2013, the New York Giants are the fifth most winning team. They made playoffs 5 times. They went 8-3 on the playoffs with 2 Super Bowl wins. Thanks to who? Eli Manning beating up Tom Brady. They never had a losing season in those 8 years. They never. And I mean, they just have a lot of difficult time because they're celebrating 100 seasons. And the truth will be told, but that team, which is New York Giants, wasn't that good for the first 3 decades. It wasn't really fun to see other teams being successful. But I don't know about this, folks. Between for the playbook of Brian DeBall, Daniel Jones, I mean, it became something really worse. And I know we have something very in common. For us Las Vegas Raiders, we have Antonio Pierce, who is a former linebacker for the New York Giants and the Washington Commanders. And it seems that as a head coach, he didn't have the opportunity to make us a playoff contender. Because over the last season, we thought we were going to be at a playoff competition until we just got eliminated by the Indianapolis Colts. And we just had a terrible quarterbacks because we had Gardner Minshew of our team, which is Las Vegas Raiders. And for the New York Giants, they have Daniel Jones. That's the only recipe for disaster that it can really feel about it. I mean, and I know that I'm not to be very critical, but it seems that they have something very in common. I mean, there's a lot of disappointment, not only for the Las Vegas Raiders, but also for the New York Giants. After they just got eliminated. Because I know there's a lot of disappointment. Because how the case of Daniel Jones situation was handled over the past week, especially with the players, it was a primarily financial decision by the organization. Remember that? Business decisions. I mean, as soon as I said to go for it, I mean, I don't think that any player is going to be happy at the organization till they're purposely playing a guy they think is worst quarterback for the last 7 games. Doesn't make it right or wrong for a futurist perspective. Because there's one thing to handle business decisions after the season ends. It's another to have business decisions to affect games. It's hard to motivate other players when they know their organization isn't serious about the season. How can you ask them to risk injury on the season where the owner is already throwing in the towel? Prove me wrong about this. Prove me wrong. Because I really understand why the Giants want to trade Saquon Barkley to the Eagles. And I understand why the Raiders want to trade Josh Jacobs to the Green Bay Packers. Running backs matters because they just wanted to get experiment with some teams that they just want to make a clear statement. They just wanted to move on to another teams, which they wanted to get it. Everything at all. So that's why I'm not gonna trash talk about for those teams, because I just wanted to make very professional. And I know that sometimes it makes well, I'm very angry about the situation about the Las Vegas Raiders. But it seems that it's very complicated that hopefully the next season, between for Las Vegas Raiders and of course for the New York Giants, they want to make some great moves. And right now it seems that the New York Giants, they just want to Bill Belichick as a head coach, or maybe Mike Rabel. But I think that we're gonna do the same thing, just like the head coach or the quarterback. Because instead of that, because hear me clear right now, because some of the content creators, some of the fans, including New York Giants. Because for us, Las Vegas Raiders, we just want Shedeur Sanders or Cam Ward. But the New York Giants, they just wanted the same quarterback. Shedeur Sanders or maybe Jalen Milroe. I mean, there's like a lot of options coming up there on 2025 draft day NFL. That's coming out in April. Yep. And it seems that there's a lot of talent coming up there, making it hot. Because after the 2024 draft, it seems that, well, a lot of quarterbacks made a great splash. Also, they had tight ends, wide receivers, running back, safety, defensive edge. Because you know what happens, but it comes out the Nets. The Nets big thing. Yep. And I really understand why they wanted to make it some great moves between for the next season. And I know it's going to be like so realistic. So realistic right now. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, I know this is the Black Friday football edition. We can talk about like Raiders, Giants, and of course a lot of NFL, college football. So here's another topic that we're talking about it. The Detroit Lions are the big deal. So believe me or not, I know that the Detroit Lions have become like one of the most caliber teams that we just saw during the season. And I know that the Detroit Lions, it could be like a strong competitor for the Super Bowl. And I understand that they just lost against for the San Francisco 49ers because we all know that the Super Bowl, it became scripted. It became like a form of storyline. Because check this out. Because before that, the people, they just want Jared Goff versus Lamar Jackson on a Super Bowl in Las Vegas. That's what the people want. Detroit Lions versus Baltimore Ravens. But then somehow, after the whole juju that you just got it is San Francisco 49ers versus Kansas City Chiefs because they just want to put it out again. Patrick Mahomes and then Brock Purdy. Just like a rematch of 2020 Super Bowl between Chiefs versus San Francisco 49ers. And a lot of fans, they just wanted to woke up and they just wanted to decide, let me get out of here for this nightmare. But I understand that the Detroit Lions, it became something important for years. I mean, they have the potential candidate for the Super Bowl. And we all know that the Detroit Lions are making some great moves. They have a great record. Ladies and gentlemen. Because for the first time, if you guys remember, December 2023, they just last won to the base division as a part of the NFC Central back in 1993. That'll be like the first playoff appearance since 2016. 2017. I mean, wow. What can I tell you about it? After they just won against Chicago Bears, I mean, they just wanted to make everything happen. And for those guys who didn't know all about this, I mean, Campbell, the coach, I mean, he was just like a great leader of men. He became like a great leader. And not only about that, because the playbook, it seems that they're getting like a straight up, not giving up for the season. Yep. And of course, because I know that the Detroit Lions, they just won, but including for all these injury reports, I mean, the offense running through like the pack what they did on the Green Bay. I mean, the game for the Thanksgiving was definitely close. Definitely close against for the Chicago Bears because of the fumble. And I know that it seems that if you guys remember, when the Detroit Lions, they missed the field goal and the dumb fumble inside 5, and all the Bears, they pulled all the falls right off of the defense. But it seems that, well, The only thing that worry about, not only for the Detroit Lions fans, but also for the whole community, there is no Aiden Hutchinson. If they can manage, him managing without him, as long as it stays strong, the rest of the defense of the Lions. But it's not the case, because they wouldn't say that they're gonna want like 12 games, because that was basically like yesterday defense. Because not saying that the Detroit Lions can win, but they have never such a little star power on the defense. Because you know what's the result? The result of Detroit Lions' success, not only about for the head coach, but of course the quarterback, Jared Goff, Amara St. Brown, also there's David Montgomery, Sam Laporta. I mean, they are the big deal. And I feel that the Detroit Lions' success is more tied to the offensive line to this point. I mean, the secondary defense, it's so much improved that they don't need to rely on much of the pass rush. Jared Goff, and of course the whole defense and the offense, they perform at an elite level, just like that, up in the heaven. But there's also like a tiny little pressure on the quarterback and the good run blocking. Sure, they give up some yards to the opponents, but if they can score and control the game clock with a well-executed offense. Exactly. Because it feels like they have the Patriots dynasty sheen. Because if you guys remember, like the New England Patriots dominance between for the 2000 and 2010, I mean, they just became like the blueprint for the Detroit Lions. I mean, the whole line has been told like to contain, stop the run, and speed the quarterback with a lot of pressure, so that the ball is out quick and the linebackers and safeties can feel the holes, pause, and they don't want to make plays in the ball. I mean, if any team is built to survive injuries, it's the Detroit Lions. Many teams rely on the few key players to make the team work. They got Philadelphia Eagles and Saquon Barkley, Kansas City Chiefs and Mahomes, Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen, and the list goes on and on. Minnesota Vikings and JJ McCarthy. Not quite a bad thought, but I mean that the last team, which is Green Bay, unfortunately, the other team will have to build to make it through injuries. Because I know the issue is making like sure the offense perform constantly. Because if they got a lot of confidence on that team to stay in shape. So that what's happened. So that's what's up. That's what's up for everyone. And I understand that the Detroit Lions, it became so much the bigger deal. And I really hope, because remember the last time that I was like talking about like Detroit Lions versus Baltimore Ravens. I mean, it could be like at a really potential Super Bowl. But it seems that doesn't want to put like at a rematch, and then the whole situation came down for like another chaos. Probably a lot of chaos, but it seems that boom, they just wanted to make it happen. At all. At all. So there we go. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. So after that, I'm talking about like Detroit Lions, Las Vegas Raiders, a little bit of New York Giants. So let's just talk about like a little bit of college football, including the NFL. So then I really understand how like the college football, because right now I'm watching Iowa State versus Nebraska. And right now Iowa just got the win 13-10. And yes, this is about like the college football, because tomorrow is going to be like a really important day on the college football, because they have something like a great rivalry between Michigan versus Ohio State. Ohio State, ladies and gentlemen. Ohio State. And I know that the rivalry it became so much important because you know what? This is going to be like so interesting. And well, there's like a few news that I just wanted to need to talk about it. Because I know that Michigan Wolverines had a good defense. And Ohio State has started slow after the season. Because I could absolutely see Ohio State stalling on a few beginning drives. Well, Michigan gets a plotting gritty touchdown in the first quarter. Because people are losing their minds. They have unhinged Bullcat fans call for a day to be fired right on the spot. I mean, then the talent and experience got those guys' names like Chip Kelly and Jim Knowles start flexing their muscles, and they wanted to take over the control. They want to take out the control. Prove me wrong about this. Because when it comes to Michigan, it comes hot, very hot, with nothing to lose. And those defense, the defense is playing with the ears pinned back out for the blood while Warren is out there trots, hanging 28 points to a route to Ohio State win. On the one hand, it feels like a Thor killing Thanos after he just everything he wanted and was chilling in this farm with a not too great arm. If you know about the reference of, well, the Avengers of Marvel, I mean, it could be like a star for something beautiful. I mean, to be honest. But if they get like an early free and out of the pressure from Graham and Grant, they just wanted to use a solid early game script to drive down for the field goal to get onto momentum. I mean, if they wanted to score another touchdown before forcing a pass that it just like to pick it off and return the net some, those wanted to add a rushing touchdown to make it happen. And you know what really happens at all for everything. And you know what else is gonna really happen between for like the defense, the outstanding online. I mean, they're gonna be happen. They're gonna be happen at all. Hey, how's it going, Ray Twan? Salute to you. Salute to you, Ray Twan, the king of the brown crackers, the Chapelaine. Salute to you, Ray Twan. Salute to you. But I know because Ohio State outmatches Michigan everywhere except the online, the defensive line. And that's only because two of the starters went down for the Michigan as Kenneth Grant and Mason Graham. And Ohio State has lost 3 states, 3 straight games. And it's very hard to envision that this game being competitive unless Ohio State totally sleepwalks for some reason or the pressure gets to them. I don't see that scenario happening because people had seen a few times already that year. But Ryan Day, if they want to need to win this game, I mean, it's going to be really, really, really bad. But it's probably going to be like an important as a playoff game to Ryan Day. Well, it simply has more talent. Between for the Ohio State, that's very close for a quarter or more. We don't want to put their foot on the gas in the second half. But if they wanted to expect it, I mean, really going to expect it at all. Because if they wanted to pull off the unthinkable, walks down to the right and starts the war, now if they're going to go to play, if they wanted to, well, to get bumped, it may get out of the playoffs. But if you certainly like lose the home game, that's over. That's really over. Really over. But it seems like it's a big spread for all. A big spread. Probably there should be, but I don't know. It's just like a low take. How do they decide to beat up them? It really happens. At all. It really happens, but it seems that there's nothing not to compare like this rivalry. And it seems that, well, the Iowa, well, when I was watching between for the game between Iowa versus Nebraska, I mean, they just got like more than a tie. And I mean, the whole defense between for Nebraska and Iowa, they're not playing. They're not playing. I mean, if you people tune in between for Nebraska versus Iowa, it seems that it all became something realistic. Something realistic, ladies and gentlemen. Something realistic. And what I would just see about it, they want to know. They want to know. But they want to know. Exactly. Exactly. All right. So, and I just wanted to talk about like a lot of the things that are preview between for the Sunday. And I know that, well, after that, I was talking about like the Raiders and everything. But between for this one, I mean, that game between just a reminder for this one, Jaguars versus Texans. Ooh, this is gonna be like an easy one. An easy one who never wants to expect it. Because I know that, well, if Antonio Pierce say we're competing against the best team in the world against the worst team. So basically after Las Vegas Raiders, he came the worst and the Kansas City Chiefs the best. Right now they just got the best team, which is Houston Texans versus the worst team, which is Jacksonville Jaguars. Yep. Basically, it just happened. Basically. Because check this out. The Texans had won 11 out of the first 13 games against the Jaguars. And they defeated at the week number 4 with CJ Stroud, throwing more than 345 yards with only 2 touchdowns. That could really happen. I mean, has been thrown for like 6 touchdowns with no interceptions. I mean, that guy is a truly talent. A truly talent. I mean, when you see for the first time getting drafted for the Houston Texans, you know that guy, which is CJ Stroud, it became so much important to get the balance, to get the Houston Texans moved out to the next level. Yep, exactly. And for the Jaguars, I mean, what can I tell you about it? This is going to be like a really easy one. Because check this out. Jaguars had scored fewer than 10 points in back-to-back games with backup quarterback Mac Jones. It seems that there are 1-6 and 1-score games, which is tied with the Bengals with much such losses at the NFL. Yep. That seems like an easy whoop. It's going to be like an easy game for everything. It's going to be like an easy game for the Houston Texans. They're going to be like a great beatdown. And there is one factor on that game. His name is Tank Dell. He had 7 or more targets and score everything in the points because he has a fantastic matchup against Jaguars defense that gives like that per game to the wide receivers, including Nick Collins, which did drop like plenty of defensive attention, what could be like really open things up even more for Tank Dell. Including for Will Anderson Jr., Daniel Hunter. I mean, they're going to be combined with at least 3.0 sacks. And last week, they just combined 5.0 sacks. And they just finished for the second pass rush in rate. I mean, not only about that, because I really thought that Houston Texans could be like something bigger that you might be expected as at the next level. Yep, you might know what about this. You might know. And there's another games that should be like on this Sunday. They have Los Angeles Rams versus New Orleans Saints. I mean, the Saints are getting really healthy again for the bye week. And no, we're not talking about like Derek Carr, but it seems that at the defensive end, Tano Passanone, it could be like a threat to Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua. Yep, because it seems that there'll be like a really gnarly defender by snap, by everything. Yep, it could be like everything that happened for all. And there's another game that I would like to a little to preview for everything, which is Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus Carolina Panthers. And I know that Carolina Panthers, they just lost against Kansas City Chiefs by a close game because they just wanted to I don't know. They just wanted to get into the close to win. But it seems that after all being through it, it seems like, those have to be wrong. They had to be wrong. But between for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they just snapped a 4-game losing streak with a post-bye week, winning over the New York Giants. And they just wanted to get around for the playoff push. Mike Evans, Baker Mayfield, they had to continue to possibly one of the best seasons of their career. But they have the biggest advantage for the ground game against for the Carolina Panthers. Along for the quarterback, Bryce Young. Also, they have Adam Thielen, and they got Xavier Legette. And if they got Will Riker, their highest pass block for the win rate of the season, I think they wanted to set a better mark against Tampa Bay Buccaneers that doesn't scare too much about the pass rush. Everything could happen. And of course, there's another factor coming up there. The tight end, K. Dalton. That could be more dreadful than anybody else in this audience. Because I know that K. Dalton became some of the most incredible tight ends. And I know that for us, for the Raiders, we just got Brock Bowers. But K. Dalton talent is very surprising at all. It's very surprising that no one see that coming at all. No one. No one, ladies and gentlemen. No one. And yes, it became so much important that no one see a lot of more talentful or players, tight ends, wide receivers, everything. And for this moment, between for the Sunday games, that should be a really interesting one. Baltimore Ravens versus Philadelphia Eagles. Between Lamar Jackson versus Jalen Hurts. Now, I wanted to talk about between Ravens versus Eagles. I mean, it's not gonna be this one because I know that they're flying away. Yep, it's gonna be a lot of feathers. A lot of feathers. Could be anything. Because between for the Baltimore Ravens, they just got Lamar Jackson, Mark Andrews. And for the Philadelphia Eagles, they just got A.J. Brown, Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts. That could have been happened at all. That could have happened. I mean, when you go select adrenaline, you want to hold out for the future games. And they want to beam full in offense. I mean, 95%. 99%. Because without one of those players, I mean, they just got, doubtful. Because during for the week number 13, there was no Cal Van Noy for the Sunday against Philadelphia Eagles. Because without keeping in the Baltimore Ravens defense, they need to be adept against setting the defensive edge against the Eagles one game. The Ravens can't let Saquon get outside. If they get funnel things inside, they have a great shot to have Roquan, Harrison, Simpson, Hamilton to be able to fill gaps and make tackles. If the edges got blown to the ball, who knows? Saquon's going to get in another 100 yards. Besides for those few splash plays, the pass rush of the Baltimore Ravens didn't have too much against for the Chargers. The Harbaugh Bowl between two brothers, John and Jim, And with by no out against a good Eagles offensive line, they have remaining edges. They're going to really step it up. But it's very huge. But I think that the Baltimore Ravens, they can get a lot of still pressure on the interior line. It could really happen at all. Really happen at all. So, I know for the Ravens, biggest weakness has been further the year. Getting towards the likes of Jameis Winston, Joe Burrow, Baker Mayfield. I mean, typically for the Philadelphia Eagles, Saquon Barkley, they had Toronto open it up for the passing game. Ravens might be like an exception to that rule. They be really exceptional, stopping the run. And if the Eagles can establish an early quick strike to passing attack, they're going to open it up for a running game. They don't have to start to adjust. I mean, the biggest key for the Eagles, the linebacker. From Zach Baum to Dina Kubi to Bo Limited, David Henry, big plays they don't want to contain. It'll be like a really close game. But, I mean, don't be surprised at it at all. But I really think that the Baltimore Ravens could beat against Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, even though that a lot of New York Giants, they don't like the Philadelphia Eagles. But it seems that between for that point for Lamar, this is going to be like something interesting. When they had to do score like a defensive touchback because of the chaos. And everyone that was wanted to make it the points. Because between for Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, they're much guaranteed to score 30 or more points. I smell like an upset. And I smell like a spoiler alert. Because if they want to dial the Eagles to keep pace, unless they have to give the ball expectedly, because despite for the large talent gap between for all the defense, I mean, this is going to be like a huge test for both teams. We all know that the Philadelphia Eagles, they have a weak-ass schedule. They can see they have a goal for the versus a contender. They have 9-2, have an easy schedule for the rest of the way. Playing the Carolina Panthers Nets and getting over for the final weeks. And I mean, for the Baltimore Ravens, they really need that win. There is a big difference between 8-5, 9-4, especially for the tied AFC North. There's also between like a King Henry and Norris Barkley. You know that group? Well, Saquon Barkley. If you understand about the reference of the group of Danger Mouse and CeeLo Green, Norris Barkley for the song Crazy, they have show up. But it's very funny that Jalen Hurts had to listen them up for like passing attempts. Got to like part it. Now, both defenses are really good. What good offense have they really played against? Because they almost lost for the Jaguars when they were winning by 2 touchdowns into for the fourth. And the ultimate key for the Baltimore Ravens is stopping Barkley. If it's getting going, it's going to be like a monumental win for the Baltimore Ravens. It's going to be it. It's going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. So, ladies and gentlemen, I know that, well, it's going to be really special because I was talking about like the Raiders, but this is like the Black Friday football edition. So I know it's going to be like really understandable. Really understandable. But right now, I just wanted to tell you, thank you guys for tuning in. And of course, I will see you there. Well, tomorrow between for like the Survivor Series of WWE right now at 6 p.m. And after that, I think I'm going to do like another Raiders live stream. But this one is very exclusive for the Big Blue Crew Sports Network and of course for my channel, Capitán Rafucho. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel, Capitán Rafucho. And I just wanted to make a special mention to all the fans of Tom Grossi. Yep, one of the greatest content creators who made great videos about like the NFL. I know he's a Green Bay Packers fan, but I really appreciate that a lot of fans that just wanted to comment, grocery rate. All they just flooded on my comments during for the live stream of Las Vegas Raiders versus Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, that was just like amazing. Really amazing, ladies and gentlemen. And I love that. I love that. So, before I let it go for it, I mean, here's my life thoughts. My last thoughts, ladies and gentlemen. I really hope that after Thanksgiving, I mean, I just wanted to thank you know that the family is more united. Because if you wanted to let it know between for all the festivities, between Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's Eve, the family is always there. Because you're not gonna stream 24/7 because you have enough time not only to work, but also have a great time with your family, with your friends. And because this is like the most wonderful time of the year. Yeah, I know this is gonna be like that other Sunday say, is the most wonderful time of the year because we all know that we are on Thanksgiving, after Thanksgiving, Black Friday, and of course, the Christmas, New Year. I mean, it is the perfect time to hanging out with the family and of course to embrace love. To embrace love. Exactly. And have a great time eating food, a lot of turkey, making cheese, and of course, we wanted to settle down like the conversations, not to fight. No fights, no fighting. Just have a great conversation, and of course, we just wanted to let him know that we are here. We are here to support, and we are here to make it happen. We are here to have a great celebration, to make a great connection, and of course, having a great time. So thank you very much. And of course, I will see you there tomorrow at the Survivor Series WWE, not only on my channel, Capitán Rafucho, but also the channel of the Big Blue Crew Sports Network. So, ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to tell you, have a great night, have a great weekend, have a great Friday, and of course, this is Capitán Rafucho speaking, right in the building, and I will see you there next time, the next episode of Straight Outta Nation, exclusively for the Big Blue Crew Sports Network, talking about Las Vegas Raiders, New York Giants, a lot of things of NFL, college football. So, I just wanted to tell you, thank you guys for joining. And of course, we are out of here. So, much love and respect for y'all. Thank you.